ever meet someone so angry they won't even let you help them? That was Tank, a 19-pound ball of pure rage wrapped in striped fur. The first time I tried to pet him, he lunged at my hand like I just insulted his entire bloodline. I'm not joking. This cat had a reputation. The shelter staff warned me before I even stepped into his room. He's difficult, they said, glancing at the scratches on their arms. Been here 8 months. Nobody wants him. He attacks anyone who gets close. But here's the thing. I've always had a soft spot for the ones nobody else believes in. So I looked through that cage door, and there he was. A massive tabby cat hunched in the corner, glaring at me with eyes that said, "Try me." I whispered, "What happened to you, big guy?" He hissed, and somehow I knew right then I was taking him home. Now, before we go any further, if you're the kind of person who roots for the underdog, or in this case, the undercat, hit that subscribe button, because what happens next is going to blow your mind. The ride home was a disaster. Tank yowled the entire time, his deep, guttural cries echoing through my car like a siren. When I finally got him inside, he bolted straight under the couch and refused to come out for 3 days. 3 days. No food, no water, just angry growling whenever I got too close. I started to wonder if I'd made a terrible mistake. But on the 4th morning, something shifted. I woke up to find him sitting in the hallway, staring at me. Not hissing, just watching. I whispered, "Hey, buddy, you hungry?" He blinked, slowly. That's when I realized Tank wasn't just angry. He was terrified. Beneath all that aggression was a cat who'd been let down so many times, he'd learned to strike first before anyone could hurt him again. So I changed my approach. No more forcing affection, no more trying to pick him up or invade his space. Instead, I just existed near him. I'd sit on the floor, reading a book, talking softly about my day. At first, he'd watch me from across the room, tail twitching, eyes sharp. But slowly, inch by inch, he started to creep closer. 1 week turned into 2, 2 turned into a month, and then one morning, I woke up to find Tank curled up at the foot of my bed. I froze, barely breathing, because I knew if I moved too fast, he'd disappear again. But he didn't. He stayed. Still, the aggression didn't vanish overnight. Tank had triggers. Loud noises, sudden movements, even the sound of a plastic bag crinkling would send him into attack mode. I learned to move slowly, speak softly, and never, ever corner him. But here's where things got interesting. I noticed something about Tank's anger. It wasn't random, it was reactive. And it always happened when he felt trapped or scared. So I started giving him choices. If he wanted to be alone, I'd leave the room. If he wanted attention, he'd come to me. Slowly, he began to trust that I wouldn't hurt him. And then came the breakthrough moment. It was a rainy Tuesday morning. I was sitting at my desk, working, when I felt something brush against my leg. I looked down. Tank! He was rubbing his face against my ankle, purring. I nearly cried. This was the same cat who just weeks ago had drawn blood every time I got within 3 feet of him. I reached down, hand trembling, and gently scratched behind his ear. He leaned into it, eyes half closed, completely calm. That's when I realized Tank didn't need to be fixed. He just needed to be understood. Now here's the crazy part, and I want you to comment below whether you think this was the right move or if I should have done something different. I started documenting Tank's journey. Little videos here and there. His first time playing with a toy, his first time sitting in my lap, his first time purring without flinching. And people went wild. Thousands of comments poured in. "I have a cat just like this. This gives me hope. I thought my cat was broken." But not everyone was supportive. Some said I was being reckless. "You're going to get seriously hurt," they warned. "That cat is dangerous. You should have returned him." And honestly, part of me wondered if they were right, because Tank wasn't perfect. He still had bad days. Days where he'd swat at me out of nowhere or refuse to let me near him. But those days got fewer and farther between. By month 3, Tank was a different cat. He'd greet me at the door when I came home. He'd curl up beside me while I watched TV. He even started playing, chasing laser pointers and batting at feather toys like a kitten. But the biggest change? His weight. All that stress and anger had been keeping him heavy, sluggish. Now that he was relaxed, he started moving more, playing more, and slowly the pounds started to drop. He went from 19 pounds to a healthier 14. His coat got shinier, his eyes brighter. One day, I was sitting on the couch when Tank jumped up beside me, curled into a ball, and fell asleep with his head on my lap. I looked down at him, this once angry, once broken cat, now completely at peace. And I thought, this is why we don't give up. Tank's story started spreading. Other people with difficult cats reached out. "How did you do it?" they'd ask. And I'd tell them the same thing every time. Patience, respect, and the willingness to meet your cat where they are, not where you want them to be. But here's the truth. Tank didn't just change because of me. He changed because he wanted to. Somewhere deep down, beneath all that anger and fear, he was waiting for someone to prove that love didn't have to hurt. Today, Tank is thriving. He's playful, affectionate, and yes, a little sassy, but that's just who he is. And I wouldn't change a thing. If you've got a pet who's struggling, who seems broken or too difficult, I'm begging you, don't give up. Give them time, give them space, give them the chance to show you who they really are. Because sometimes the angriest hearts just need the gentlest hands. And here's something I want you to think about. Tank taught me that healing isn't linear. Some days he'd take 2 steps forward, other days 3 steps back. But every single step mattered. Every moment of patience built trust. Every act of kindness chipped away at years of pain. That's the journey. Messy, slow, beautiful. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had a pet that everyone else gave up on? What did you do? Drop your story in the comments. Let's start a conversation, because every animal deserves a second chance. And if Tank's transformation inspired you, smash that like button and share this video. You never know who might need to hear this today.